Hey, my name is Michael Griswold, and this video is entitled How to Get Your Ex to Call You Back When They're Ignoring You. Actually, I got an email from one of the people that subscribes to these videos, and she told me this long story about how her and her boyfriend broke up and she can't get him to call her back. And that's really the reason that I'm making this, because this is kind of a recurring question that I hear from people often is, how do I get them to call me back when every call is screened and every text is not returned? So I'm going to get into that, but before I do, if you're in this situation, I want you to know there's 100 million different people, it seems, online giving you advice on how to get back with your ex. Everything from how to get back with your ex in 72 hours, to how to use dirty psychological tricks to get back with them, to how to use magic to get back with them. And I just want to let you know, I happen to think that all of that is rubbish. And the reason is this. At the end of the day, there's two people who at one point really liked each other and were really enamored with each other. And now something has happened. And so if you're looking for tricks or magic or anything like that, there are resources out there for you. But the question is, what do you do when you run out of tricks? What do you do when the magic spells wear off? So that's the purpose of these videos. We actually are releasing a series of them that covers the whole host of breaking up relationship material. So let's get into it. So here's the situation. You and your boyfriend or you and your girlfriend have broken up. You want to talk to them because you think, man, if I could just talk to them and get them to understand where I'm coming from, then we could be back and stronger than ever. You're right. However, the way you go about it is absolutely critical. Because if you do it wrong, you will make more damage than is already been done. Let's take an example. Why do you guys think diamonds are so valuable? Well, it's because you can't just walk down to the local 7-Eleven and pick one up, right? You can't get one for 75 cents or $9.99 on eBay. The reason that diamonds are valuable is because they're scarce. Now you might be thinking, well, what are you talking about? That doesn't have anything to do with my situation. In fact, it does, and here's why. Because the fact is that we value, as people, things that are scarce, right? And that includes even intangible things like our time. If you are working a job and you don't get a lot of sleep, your sleep has become scarce and you value it more, okay? So how do we apply this to the situation with the relationship that you're in? Here's what you do. If you and your boyfriend or you and your girlfriend or you and your wife or you and your husband, whatever sort of relationship you've had that's just ended, the way to get to the point where you can talk to them honestly is to do what is completely counterintuitive, and that is to stop trying to talk to them. Because what you then do is you provide the opportunity for them to miss you. Does this make sense? Maybe you've been in a situation before where someone's really pressuring you to do something. Don't you find often that the more they pressure you, the less inclined you are to do it? You might do it out of a sense of obligation, but you don't feel really good about it, do you? It's not something that fills you with a lot of happy thoughts. Well, it's the same thing in your relationship with your ex. The more you push and push and push to try to demand that you be able to talk again, the more inclined they are going to be to pull back, pull back, pull back. I'm sure this makes sense to you because we've all been on both sides of this type of relationship. So you might be thinking now, okay, so your advice to me is I want to talk to my ex, so the way to do that is by not talking to them? Well, yes. Not forever, but for a short amount of time. Because what happens after a relationship breaks up is that both people are hurting, right? And by you not talking, to them, you create this desire, you give room for that desire to be fanned into flame again. Think about it like this. You are probably missing your ex more now that you are broken up than you did before you broke up. Why? Because their time has become scarce in your life. If you can imagine using that same philosophy with them, you'll get a similar result. So, to recap, the way to get your ex to talk to you again in a way that isn't begging and pleading, and in a way that doesn't make them want to recoil, the way to do it is by backing up yourself. Because that whole push-pull thing is a real foundational element of attraction. By pulling back, you create a scarcity of your time. And by creating a scarcity of your time, you give your ex the opportunity to miss you. And when people miss things, they're more inclined to seek them out. You might find that actually the more you do this, the more they're going to want you. And the more it puts you back on a level playing field where you can have the discussion you want to have and then make things even better than before. So, my name is Michael Griswold, and if you want to check out more, we've got a whole host of videos about this subject and everything having to do with relationships and breaking up and getting back together at reunitedrelationships.com. See you later.